there, Buttercups. Your resident Teabelle here. Welcome to Hark, 'tis the Teabelle. Let's dive in for that tea today, huh? I know we touched on Columbia Square a while ago, but Buttercups, we're gonna dive deep today into the Kehoe house. So buckle in and let's go. So this house, which is located at 123 Habersham Street, was built for William Kehoe and his family. While this house started as a beautiful family home, it has grown dark with death, despair, and tragedy. So William Kehoe was born in Wexford, Ireland on August 21st, 1842. He moved to Savannah from Ireland at the age of 8 with his impoverished family. They settled into the Old Fort District, which was settled in with other poor Irish immigrants. And life was hard, but it got harder. His father passed away from yellow fever, and what was a boy to do? Well, he and his siblings started job hunting for whatever they could get, and he eventually found success. He found a job making bullets in Selma, Alabama, for the Confederate forces during the Civil War. Now, he found success. By 36, he became foreman with hard work, and his friendship with the owner, Thomas Mulligan, began. So I'm not saying that his friendship with the owner was because of being a hardworking foreman. That's how it was formed. In 1878, Mulligan left him part of the Phoenix Ironworks Company. This man, William Kehoe, bought out Mulligan's widow for dollars to own the whole thing in 1880. Now, today, I'm how I feel about these kind of facts. Today, that would be $122,685.49, a price increase of 3,067%, which is crazy. But this whole thing made him the sole owner. So over the next 20 years, he grew this company into a multi-million-dollar a year enterprise. So let's just kind of put in our heads here. If $4,000 then is about $122,000 and change this, now, over 20 years to the 1900s, multi-million dollars, he would be well settled. And so his purchase was well timed, though, because the Industrial Revolution caused the demand for iron to rise, the various usage, such as iron fencing, boilers, marine parts, sugar mills, and heavy forging. So we know he's successful. That's wonderful, right? But he wasn't just a successful businessman. He chose to help his community. So this is just some of the charitable works that he was involved in. The Savannah Diocese, St. John the Baptist Cathedral, Georgia Historical Society, Hibernian Society, St. Mary's Female Orphanage Benevolent Society, which means he just really gave his time, his money, and his business know-how to others around him so everybody could rise up rather than just one. He was also the president of many places. A few of them were the Tybee Beach Company, Hotel Tybee Company, National Bank of Savannah, and the Savannah Power and Electric. He was also a president and helped found the Chatham Savings and Loan. So this just really points to us that he was a hardworking man, and he knew the true meaning of giving back. He knew the true meaning of being part of a community. And this was probably the biggest thing he wanted to do. Knowing how he was raised, how he was growing up as an impoverished, family, this was beyond his probably imagination. So he does get his dream family. He married Anne Flood, or Annie, at St. Patrick's Parish in 1868. Now, they were a true, strong Catholic family, and they had 10 kids. Now, it is said that the boys were known as Sonny and girls were known as Sister because apparently it seems it was difficult remembering the names of all of his kids. My dude. I mean, I'll cut him some slack, though. He was running a multi-million-dollar company. trying to help the community and have his dream family. So, you know what? We'll give it to him. Now, he bought the lot, and the house was built in 1892. It was about $25,000 then. So today that would be $887,494.51, an increase of 3,449.98%. He had money, guys. The house he built was a Queen Anne revival style, which the exterior summons an aura of wealth and elegance, which really equated to the elite status of the era. But for this man, it was more than just a status symbol for the family. It was deeper, it was warmer. This was he was an Irish born foundry owner. It was a tribute to the excellence in pattern making and casting of iron. It's all cast iron, from the exterior stairways, window treatments, fluted columns, and capitals to the fences and gates. Needless to say, this family loved their home, okay? But one day, the home took a dark turn, okay? The kids loved their homes. They loved to play hide and seek. They just loved to play in general. But one day, they had been playing all afternoon. And eventually, as kids do, they went their own ways before being called for dinner. Now, all but the twin 10-year-old boys showed up when summoned. They thought nothing of it, as the boys were pranksters. And so a while later, chill overcame the home. And they decided that they were going to light the fireplaces. Now, unfortunately, the lit fireplaces highlighted why the twins were missing. They had shimmied up a chimney and passed away from smoke inhalation, which was pure devastation. And Annie was not having it. Not one bit. She fired all of the nurses and nannies, and she was now her children's full-time caretakers. She tucked them in every night and kissed their cheeks to check for fevers, to check on them, to make sure they were okay. Now, later in life, we know that Annie passed away unexpectedly at 73 on December 30th in 1922 after a long illness. On her obituary, it says she was survived by 3 sons, Simon P. Kehoe, James J. Kehoe, and Dan M. Kehoe, all of Savannah. 3 daughters, Mrs. Frank Golden and Mrs. Mary Kehoe of Savannah, and Mrs. John W. Crawley of Philadelphia, and 21 grandchildren. It's a lot of grandchildren, but she had a lot of kids. Now, William passed away at 87 on December 29th, 29, almost a mere 7 years later, of pneumonia. Now, Kehoe was a devout Catholic for his entire life, and so he was a member of the St. John the Baptist parish for many years. He contributed time and money to the historical site. Like when the cathedral was severely damaged in a fire in 1898. He led the charge to raise money to restore the cathedral and donated his own money for a baptismal font and much of the ironworks used in the restoration. Well, when he died on December 29, 1929, he left a legacy of his ironworks business, improvement to Tybee Island, 7 children, and 25 grandchildren. Okay. Now, we know that he and Annie were married on November 26 of 1868. Of his 9 children, because one passed away and didn't last more than a year, his sons Simon, James, and Daniel, and he had 4 daughters who survived him, Mrs. F.H. Golden, Mrs. J.W. Crawley, Miss Mary Kehoe, and Miss Helen Kehoe. And he had 5 great-grandchildren. So they definitely had a large brood, guys. So we know that this home was full of love, full of laughter, and even though it did have a touch of death, they adapted. Now the afterlife, though, okay. It had several owners since the Kehoe family, but the Kehoes, I don't think they left, if I'm being very honest. So William likes to turn on the lights and ring the doorbell. He also likes to unlock and open the front door. There are many that think he spends his quiet time in the evenings in one of the most unused rooms of the house, which is the cupola. So he's still watching over his home, which he worked very hard for. I don't blame him. Anne, or Annie, if you will, watches over the second and third floor, and she kisses the guests on the cheek, probably trying to make sure that whoever is in those rooms is okay. While she generally does make her rounds, she primarily appears in rooms 201 and 203 because this place is now a bed and breakfast. In room 201, you can also pick up the emphasized scent of roses as she goes about her day. In room 203, she'll sit on the bed next to the sleeping guest, and she can be seen writing at the desk in this room. Now, the children, they didn't go far either. They can be heard, and toys brought by the visitors will be moved. They like to flicker with lights and wander through the night, and this is evidenced by footsteps. Seems like this family loved their home in life, and in the afterlife, they chose to stay. It's interesting to me that when you have such a devotion to everything you've built, I can't blame them for not wanting to leave. And I love that even though it's now something completely different, the family still stays and they still watch over their home, which means that they're probably going to stay there for, well, whatever afterlife or however long they choose to stay. So, to the Kehoe family, I hope that you have just had the best afterlife in this home. So, if you liked what this house was about, you can actually visit it, right? You can experience the warmth of true Southern hospitality at the Kehoe House, a TripAdvisor's, quote, best of the best 2024, end quote, Savannah hotel. We know the Kehoe House was built in 1892 by William Kehoe, a successful iron foundry owner. The home's exterior stairways, window treatments, columns, fences, and gates are all made of cast iron, a tribute to the iron foundry's excellence in pattern making and casting. The house features 13 guest rooms and multiple private and semi-private balconies. It is often photographed and is considered one of Savannah's most treasured historic buildings. That is according to kehoehouse.com. Okay. You can get a gift certificate. You can look at the website, which is kehoehouse.com again, and see some of the beautiful staircases, everything. It only has 13 guest rooms, and so the Kehoe House can deliver personalized attention and exceptional service, making your stay a truly unforgettable one. And so they're letting us know that each of their guest rooms has its own appeal, and you can choose one that speaks to you. So they let us know too that it is in the heart of the historic district, and that makes it an easy experience for Savannah. You're going to be a short walk away from just about everything you'll want to do, but you will need a vehicle to get to Tybee Island and just a few other places. But you can really just go by foot and see where everything is. They do weddings, they do other things, and they also allow you to see and do. So they just let you know that there are things to do around there, and it'll let you know what's nearby. You click on that, and it will let you, help you do the research, if you will. So if you're in Savannah and you get the chance, I would definitely recommend at least one time checking this place out. And they can wow you. And maybe, just maybe, Annie will come and kiss you goodnight. And maybe, just maybe, you'll see William Kehoe turning on lights or opening that front door. But if you do see that, in all seriousness, you should let us know. We would love to know what's going on. Did you see Annie, the kids, William? Let's go. Let us know. Buttercups, I hope you enjoyed this episode as much as I did. And if you did, and you have comments or questions or even suggestions on what we should be talking about, which I would totally go for, you can email me at harktisthetebelle@gmail.com. You can find me on Spotify, YouTube, and the Facebook. All right. But I hope you guys have a spectacular week, and I can't wait to see you next week.